What's up, college football fans and Mean Green fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show tonight, joined by Miles. And we're going to discuss this North Texas offseason. We all know offseason doesn't really exist in college football anymore between the transfer portals and coaching carousel and all of the above. And if you're a fan of any of that, consider hitting the like and subscribe button because that is truly all that we talk about. All right, Miles. Well, Happy New Year to you, and thanks for jumping on. And I mean, what are your feelings? What are your thoughts? We're kind of a little more than a week now removed away from North Texas a bowl loss. And definitely a surprise bowl. If you've been paying attention to the North Texas season, no one really expected us to make a bowl game, and unfortunately, we did lose. But how are you feeling? Just about the program in general, and transfer movements and just, going into next season, coming off of another bowl appearance, but unfortunately another bowl loss.
Well, I mean, I think just getting to that bowl is going to help the program no matter what. It was another game for the guys to play. You have a lot of younger guys coming and stepping up next year with some seniors leaving. You have guys like the Murphy twins and all those guys that have had experience in the past, and now you played in another bowl game, a true bowl game that you earned. You didn't just get put it in there because of COVID. Um, it's disappointing. It's very, very, very disappointing. After winning 5 in a row, you would be like, okay, well, North Texas is going to go in there and stomp Miami, Ohio. They did the complete opposite of that. And they didn't really get shut down badly in the first half, but it was not a good game in general. It's just very disappointing, very bad taste in the season after such a roller coaster. I mean, this year was just a definition of a roller coaster. You start out high, you play good against SMU, you completely fall down, you completely rise back up, and I don't know. I mean, and then transfers, North Texas lost, I think, about 8 to 9 transfers, maybe more. I think all those people, oh well, move on. We move on from those type of people. It's better for the program, I think, and it doesn't. None of these people have really affected us so far. My only one that I'm kind of sad about is Turpin. I like Turpin, so that was something I was a little sad about. But other than that, um, it's college football. It's the new community of college football with transfers and all that. So now North Texas needs to go get some transfers, whether that be from Power Five teams that had those players did not get enough playing time, whatever it may be. They have to attack the transfer portal this year, and you have to hit. Last year, they probably did their. I don't know if you could say that they did their best job in the transfer portal because Bush was out for the year, Rude got benched. I don't even who else did they get. I can't even
Enoch
think of who else they got in the
Jackson.
transfer portal. Enoch Jackson was just a role player. Uh, Logan Wilson didn't even get a chance to play for ineligibility. I mean, I guess they did better than the past, but I don't know. They used to have to hit this year, and so far there's been nothing. Um, and then the recruiting class this year, they've done a little bit. Stone Earl from Abilene Christian, and they did have Kobe Savage for a brief second until he literally flipped the next day, which I don't understand that. But overall, I mean, it's still just disappointing, and yeah, I think we just have to accept that it's going to be disappointing until we see more results. Um, I think Coach Bennett has been a big, big key in what we've had success wise in this past year. But now it's going to be how can they attack the portal? How can they develop guys during spring? Because now you're going to have Reuter for a full spring. You're going to have him being able to develop. You're going to have a lot more guys that might not have got a full spring, freshmen, whoever they may be. They get more experience and they could probably develop more, like a Dylan Williams or a Harold West, who are in the secondary, which is something that North Texas does need more secondary help because, quite frankly, Miami, Ohio tore up North Texas in the secondary, whether it be pass interferences or whatever it may be. So it's disappointing. I don't like it, but luckily there's basketball I can look out for and be prepared for more winning. So I'm happy about that. But other than that, it's just been it's disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely. I mean, it is disappointing to lose another one, and especially people come in from far out of town. I have friends that did just that, and just and again, spending time with family back home for the holidays, and about to get Christmas started, and then to watch their North Texas Mean Green lose another bowl game is unfortunate. I can't help but think, though, kind of trying to look at things at a more positive spin here is, did Seth Luttrell kind of raise the standard, though, for next season by making it to a bowl game and getting to 6 wins, when I had us predicted going 4-8, and I mean I think you did have us going 6-7, which I can't believe you got it right, but I don't, I mean, logically
I
you
had us
should.
going 7-6.
7-6,
I was
okay.
like, I might get my prediction right. I was
Yeah,
kind of shocked because at one point we were 1-6. I was like, I just made the dumbest prediction of all
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But
But yeah, and I think one thing that hurts about this bowl loss is the other bowl games. It was a Utah State with Jordan Love and a really good Troy team, and then we went into that one against App State, where we shouldn't have been in that one. That was whatever, and then whatever. Everyone we lost, I kind of wrote off whatever. I mean, it was mismatched, but Miami, I think it was when we all felt very very much winnable, and unfortunately, just wasn't the case. However, the fact that Coach Luttrell and everybody, Coach Bennett, and just the whole team, and all the players obviously bought in and stayed locked in, got this team with this schedule to 6 wins. I think is really encouraging and exciting. And I think the big thing will be, what's the expectations for next season? I think the expectations are probably 7 to 8 wins, with the schedule being what it is for next year. I think 7 or 8 wins is kind of, should be the expectations. And then we'll see, about the bowl game. But, we haven't heard anything about Ani. And what are your thoughts? I mean, I feel if he comes back, at least you know what I mean? I mean, yes, I know his completion percentage was not there, but we also have to factor in 4 receivers. I say it every time I come on here. I feel like Lorenzo Thompson, Deontay Simpson, Tommy Bush, Jair Shorter didn't have them. So, I mean, who's to say we have a proper starting receiving core for next year that he doesn't improve with that? And if not, then hopefully the next guy beats him out, has the opportunity to beat him out. And I don't know who that guy is going to be, whether that's Jace Ruder, Earl Stone, or Head, or Drewman. I mean, I don't know how they're going to shuffle that, but we'll see. But I mean, do you think Ani's going to come back? What do you think is going to happen?
well, I'm assuming Ani comes back. I'm assuming Casey Martin comes back. I'm assuming Amani Gilmore comes back. I'm assuming everybody comes back. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had 4 from last year. Let me count that: Ani, Reuter, Gilmore, Martin, Drummond, Head, and Stone. That's 7 quarterbacks, and I think 5 of them could compete for the starting job. I really think they can. I think Drummond can compete. I think Stone, and I think or whatever. What's his name? Is his last name Earl, or is his last
Stone
name
Earl.
Stone?
Yeah, last name is Earl.
Okay, they're both. It kind of confused me, but
Yeah.
I think him. I think Head can compete. I mean, Head did pretty good against North Texas in the year and in the game they played this year. So I don't know. I mean, maybe with Reuter getting his full spring, his full off season this year, maybe he can develop. Maybe with North Texas getting, I assume they'll get Bush back. Maybe summer. I don't really know. That they can get more of a connection with all the receivers. To be honest, Ani's probably going to come back, and I don't know. I mean, the QB room it's loaded already. I don't know about 10 talent wise, but it's just loaded with people. Now you have to have a quarterback coach in
So if
here,
Ani comes
even if it's
back, does he
Quinn.
start day one, you think?
I don't think they have a starter for next year at all. I don't
No,
think they
but
do
I'm
at all.
saying
I
if
think
Ani
they
comes
have a.
back, if you were a betting man, would you bet that Ani would be the starter day one if he comes back? I would bet yes. I just don't see them being that
Oh
open of a
man,
competition. I think it's going to be Ani's job unless he severely underperforms. I think Ani will be the starter next
I would
year.
be. I think the reason they brought in these 2 people, Head and Stone or Earl or
Yeah.
whatever that guy's name
Yeah.
is. Uh, they brought them in for a reason. It's
Yeah.
clearly because Ani can't play. or he's not that good of a player. He can play. He can be good. But clearly they brought two quarterbacks in for a reason. And they're not just freshman quarterbacks. They are experienced quarterbacks.
Mhm.
Maybe not as experienced as we want. Like Reuter, I mean, Reuter came in with one game under his belt, and it wasn't even that much of a game. So maybe they brought those two in for more competition. I think no, not maybe. They did. It's clear. And Ani, I mean, I would just assume is if he does come back, he's not getting he's not the automatic starter. If I was a betting man, Reuter starts day one. If I can predict for this not December, September 3rd when we host SMU at home, Jace Reuter's going on that field day snap one.
We don't have an FCS game before SMU this year.
We start SMU, then Texas Southern, then UNLV, which I'm very disappointed about because I wish it was a month later. Then Memphis game. The AAC didn't really schedule their teams until for some reason a later date. So I'm guessing that Memphis game might be October, November. I don't know. So we start off with a pretty easy non-conference. I mean,
Yeah,
we're gonna
I
be
mean,
honest.
we'll
I think
see.
Texas Southern could probably beat UNLV. Well, maybe not, but we'll see. But
Um,
I
yeah,
I don't see any other reason why they brought in two quarterbacks if it wasn't because Ani was not going to be day one starter. Because spring, I'm very, very, very excited for spring ball.
yeah,
I don't think I've ever been excited because there are so many question marks at so many positions. The past few years, we haven't had this.
yeah,
The past few years, we had Jair Shorter and Deontay Simpson. We're like, okay, they're gonna be the top two receivers. Maybe Tommy Bush gets a few snaps. Maybe Thompson, whoever. A tight end. I mean, who's gonna be starting at tight end? Is it gonna be Jake Roberts? You would assume that. Offensive line. You're losing Brammer. You're losing people on the offensive line. Cole Brown. Who's gonna be starting then? There's
yeah,
just so many question marks for this next year. Honestly, spring is going to be more telling than fall camp.
yeah.
I
When
think
you,
spring is going to be more telling than fall camp because if we see Reuter out there dominating, he's going to take that confidence into the summer, and summer workouts, all that stuff, into fall camp, and he's going to be better. That's what I think. That's who I think jogs out there on day one. Maybe we have Head behind him. Maybe we have Ani behind him. I don't know. But all I know is I don't know. I'm guessing Ani comes back, but he's not close to being the automatic starter. Not close.
okay, we'll see. All right. Well, as far as the portal goes, I mean, yes, we have lost a few players to the portal, but fortunately, up to the point as we're filming this is January 3rd, Monday evening, so knock on glass. But we haven't lost any key players like the Murphy twins or Katie Davis, and that's good. We're returning a lot of talent, and hopefully getting Oscar Attaway back and Ikaika or Isaiah Johnson. Somebody can take a big step forward as well and have a really good, talented running back field. So, I mean, that's exciting to look forward to and think about and hope for. But where do you think they need to go with the remaining scholarships for this? Let's say it's 6 more spots they have. I mean, do you think they need to go heavy DBs, O line? I mean, I think we're probably done in the quarterback. Uh, you, you know,
I would
you know,
think we're done in quarterback, but
yeah. So would I. Or I mean, but what are your thoughts? Where do you think they need to bolster up at the most? Receiver? I mean,
I think well, that's a big one. I think receiver, but you're also, I mean, we don't know about Jair Shorter. We don't know what his status is going to be like. I've not heard anything about that. I haven't heard hardly anything about Tommy Bush. So there are questions still. And you brought in Macklin, the Missouri transfer. You have Roderick Burns back. You have Damon Ward back. You have the Travian Brown back. I think if you can get those guys more developed, I think our wide receiving room is fine. But I also add another player would be nice. I think offensive line wise, I mean, I think we recruit great. Coach Bush is a great recruiter for offensive line. Um, what's Gabe Blair? Gabe Blair is one of our best offensive line commits we've had, and he's already been proven at day one. So I think right now, looking at the defensive losses we're going to have, we're losing Michael Sanders. Michael Sanders not playing that bowl game, that was massive because I think it was Sean Thomas Faulkner and someone else in that secondary had at least 5 or 6 pass interferences. That was unbelievable. So losing him is going to hurt. Losing Tyreek Davis is going to hurt. Losing Dion Noville is going to hurt. Mainly Noville. I mean, Noville played fantastic in that bowl game, and it's going to be very, very difficult replacing him. But you have guys behind him like Rod Brown and all that. So I think you focus on offensive line, you focus on the secondary for sure, because the secondary has been the weakest part of this whole team in the past few years since 2018. 2018, we probably had the best secondary since 2013. So they really just need to prioritize the places they're losing the most. And you lost Upton Stout. That's a big loss. I thought Upton Stout was going to be great in this next year, but he's gone. So now you have to get another cornerback in there. So I thought Kobe Savage could have been that guy, but of course he left. So I think getting the secondary help, getting offensive line help, overall defense-wise, get more help there, I think they can very much succeed in that area.
Yeah, what we need to do is get some NIL motion going on. Someone needs to kickstart one of those and attract them all here. But yeah, so we'll see.
Well, unfortunately with the NIL stuff, I mean, you look at the group of 5, it's hard to do that. It's really hard. You look at the top group of 5 programs, they're not like the rest. The top group of 5 programs, UCF, Boise State, I mean, you can count SMU as a top group of 5 program for NIL because SMU has a lot of money and they can do a lot of that stuff. Their donors are plenty rich. They can do that. But right now, if North Texas does not prioritize on any sort of NIL stuff, which so far it looks like they haven't, and looks like they won't be, because it looks like nobody's interested, which is a bad sign for not just recruiting, but for transfer portal, but for even the new landscape of college football. They're going to be so far behind the 8 ball. It's going to be very, very hard to come out as a program with a coach like Luke Trail, who I don't know. I don't think he really cares about NIL. So when you have a coach that doesn't care and you're moving into a different landscape in college football, it's just setting you up for failure. And I mean, look at UTSA. They had a little NIL thing that they're doing. I mean, you can't really compare us to SMU because SMU, of course, has more money than us. But in general, if North Texas doesn't get anything started with this in the next year, football-wise, it's going to be very devastating because college football landscape is vastly different than the college basketball landscape. Even you can argue with me on that because college basketball is just there's so many different dynamics in that. So I don't know. I mean, if they don't step up in NIL, which is now very important, they might not even have a chance in the AAC because people are in the AAC are going to be recruiting faster and bigger. And if we can't do that, then it's going to be very, very bad.
Yeah. So hopefully, and we want to pay these players. I mean, it's fun. They get some money in their pockets, and I think everybody
well, and
wins.
It also helps recruiting. You recruit to see like, okay, they're actually wanting us to have success. They want us to have a brand. They want to show off their brand. Coach McCaslin does a fantastic job of doing that for basketball. So far, the North Texas football brand is not as well publicized. That goes from top to bottom. It does not just stand with the coach. It goes from top of the administration to the bottom to the players. Nobody's taking initiative, and it's going to be very, very bad. But they can also step up and do something. We can have donors that actually step up and do something. We have, 350, 400,000 alumni in DFW. I mean, that's like not half, but it's a quarter of the population. I mean, there's just so many people around here. It's unbelievable. And if North Texas can't get any sort of benefit from them, and it starts with winning. When you win, you get more things. When you win, you have more success, not just on the field, but off the field and growing your brand. And North Texas has not grown their brand as good as they can. And that doesn't just go from winning too. It goes from social media presence. Notice how programs with great social media presences always have more success. It's because one, they're winning, and two, they have people that are initiating this to happen. I think we do have those people. Taylor Bryan and all those people in the behind the curtain right now are getting to that level, but
it is getting a lot better very fast. Yeah.
They hired a graphic designer finally. Oh my gosh. Light the tower for that.
Seriously. No
you don't
joke.
get many opportunities to do that for football. So light the tower for that because we need that. We need more presence for our North Texas brand. And if you can't get that from winning, you have to do it some other way. And people saying we should fire Latrell are just stupid because it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Just stop saying that, especially you, Go Mean Green, because people, it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. You got a coach that went from 1-6 to 6-6, got to a bowl game. In my opinion, that's worth keeping for sure. And he wouldn't get fired anyway.
I don't know who
Whatever.
it was, but
We'll move
Go
on.
Mean Green put a poem out and they took it down, but man, it was amazing. It was really, really.
Now
I don't know. It
what did
was
it say?
beautiful. It
Because
was something along the lines of pulling the trigger, but it was really well
I
thought
have
out. Yeah, if anybody knows who wrote that, I'd love to. I mean, it was really good, but
I just go on very sparse now. I've kind of stopped going on there as much because I just
well, they
I
posted it
don't
on
agree with them half
Twitter.
the time. But
Like the
isn't
Go Mean Green tweeted it. It was really good,
oh
really good.
man, that's
But
funny. That's very funny.
yeah,
Oh well. I mean, it's just the program is just in this lull. Not bad, but it's
better than we
just
thought. Yeah, they
average right
exceeded
now. It's
expectations,
better than what we
but
thought. I mean, let's play like our podcast from like
yeah,
after that Marshall game. I
yeah.
mean,
Oh
it was
hell
probably
yeah,
the
yeah.
most sad
No,
thing you could
no,
ever watch.
that was a
But
nightmare.
now, I mean,
They came, yeah.
it's better.
All right,
You get more confidence going into
real
next
quick,
year.
Miles. Before we wrap it up here, how many wins do you think they're going to get next season? Way
With
too
good
early
quarterback
prediction
play,
right
you're winning
here.
9 games.
You think
You're
they can
winning
get
nine games if you have good quarterback play.
okay, but what does good mean? I mean, 60% completion rate?
Better than what we've had the past 2 years. I mean, really, we've had very below average. Mason Fine set a really, really high bar, and Ani and Bean and Reuter have been like, here's the bar right here, and here's where they're at right now. They're like not even close. But good quarterback play and a much easier. Well, see, I don't think you can call it easier schedule because we have to go to UAB, we have to go to UTSA, we're going to Memphis. I think it's definitely more manageable, and how they set it up, it might be more manageable. But 9 wins, I think we
Yeah.
could go out there and beat SMU. I think we can. I think SMU is beatable this year. They've lost a lot of people. They've also had some good people coming back, but they've lost a lot of people. They lost their head coach. They lost their head coach.
They
It's
did.
their
They did. They
freaking
did. They
first
did.
game under their head coach.
Yeah.
Remember last year, or it was technically Sunny Dyke's second game, but it's his
Yeah.
first regular season game. We went out there and stomped them. Stomped
Mhm.
them so bad it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'll do that. I think SMU is beatable. I think UTSA is beatable for sure. UTSA lost a lot this year. UAB, they're beatable. All these
Yeah.
teams on our schedule are beatable, but of course, North Texas is North Texas, and they're not going to go undefeated. But 9 wins with good quarterback play and transfers slash newcomers making more of an impact because we swung and missed. I'm just thinking back now. We swung and missed several times on transfers. I just realized that Greg Francis from UNLV didn't even play. Tyree Thornton left in the middle of the year. A lot of those guys just swung and missed. So if we can hit on these transfers and we can have good quarterback play and keep the same defensive intensity, which I think we will. It's going to be hard when you have Bennett and not have the same intensity. We win 9 games. There's no doubt.
Well, there you
I, I,
go.
I thought we could beat UNLV by 50, but this is also January 3rd, and we still have 9 more months until we
Yeah.
start football
Yeah.
again. So,
We'll
hey,
see. We'll see when.
one last thing. Pack the super pit. I'm tired of it.
Back to Super Pit.
Go to
Yeah.
basketball games. Watch a winning team and Coach McCaslin's team. They are doing very, very good. Big home game against UAB this Thursday and Saturday. Come to it.
Absolutely. All right, Miles. Well, thanks for jumping on. And as always, go Mean Green.
Go Mean Green.